Breaking news, we've got a major trade in the NBA as the Houston Rockets have traded Russell Westbrook to the Washington Wizards for John Wall and a first-round pick. Are you kidding me? What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA. And here to break down this trade, I'm going to tell you all sides of this trade, what I think about it, who won, why the trade was made, and everything else in between. All right, so before I do that, if you're new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe, guys. The NBA season's right around the corner. I do talk a lot of NBA on this channel, and that's only going to keep going and growing more and more with the NBA season here. So make sure you guys are subscribed and turn on the post notifications by hitting the bell icon down below, guys, and make sure you are following me on all my social media accounts. Links down below and on the screen for my Twitter, my Instagram, all that good stuff. Reach out, ask questions, do what it is you got to do. Let's get into it. So I just love when these trades come out of nowhere because I'm just sitting down and then, you know, my phone just blows up because Woj just dropped a Woj bomb. And obviously I'm talking about Adrian Wojnarowski. And, you know, the notification comes through that this trade just happened. And I'm thinking like, wow. Okay, here's the thing. All right. We had been hearing rumblings about this trade. This was a rumor. This was a rumor that was out there. So I'm not going to say I'm completely shocked because this came out of nowhere. I am shocked at the fact that it actually happened. That's where I am shocked. Not shocked at the deal itself because, again, we had been hearing about a Russell Westbrook for John Wall deal for a few weeks now, all right, around draft time, then free agency. So now it actually happens. So the full deal is Russell Westbrook to the Washington Wizards for John Wall and a first-round pick, which is a 2023 protected first-round picks. In terms of the actual protections on that pick, I'm not quite sure about that yet. I don't believe we have received that detail, or at least by the time I'm recording this, I haven't. But that is the extent of the deal. So let's break this down. Let's talk about why this deal was made. All right. Contractually, it's a wash. All right. So usually, you know, sometimes deals are made for salary cap purposes, whether you're dumping a contract or you're taking one on. In this instance, Russell Westbrook and John Wall literally have the same exact deal, meaning they have the same amount of years left on their contract and the same amount of money. So when you are trading, you need to match salaries. That was no problem here, right? So in terms of whether or not the Rockets are getting rid of Russ's contract, no, they're getting the same contract back in John Wall. And the same thing for the Wizards, right? So Wall and Westbrook both have 2 years left on their deal, and last year is a player option. All right, so contractually, this is a wash. Then we take a look at, okay, if it's not about the contracts, is it about, you know, the players themselves? And here's where I'm at. Let's start with the Houston side of things, all right? We know there's been a lot of turmoil in Houston. You had the general manager leave in Daryl Morey. He's with the Sixers now. You had the coach leave, Mike D'Antoni. He is with the Brooklyn Nets now as an assistant coach. And so, in a way, we had been thinking that Houston, are they rebuilding? James Harden actually turned down a $50 million per year extension because he wants out. And he has stated that, and he wanted to go to the Brooklyn Nets. So this, to me, from the Houston side of things, is let's swing for the fences again to try and make James happy. Because if we return the same team from last year without any major additions, I mean, I know they added Boogie Cousins, but really at this point, Boogie's not the same player that he once was. If they bring back the same players, James Harden is not going to be happy. So they needed to make a shakeup, if you will. And we know the experiment with Russell Westbrook did not work out last year. They should have actually never traded away Chris Paul in the first place. I believe that was a mistake by them. And now they thought, okay, listen, let's take a swing at things because if we bring the same team back, what's the point? So they took a swing at probably the most unknown in terms of where he's at player in the NBA, which is John Wall. Folks, it's been so long since we've seen John Wall play. Like, ridiculously long. And so we don't know if he's the same type of player he was pre-injury. Now, John Wall pre-injury was an all-star player. He was one of the top 10 point guards in the league. Whether or not he is the same player remains to be seen. But that is the gamble that Houston is taking, all right, when they trade for John Wall. As far as Washington, I believe Washington made this trade because they have now started building around Bradley Beal, and they did not want any chemistry issues with John Wall, because John Wall also, was a little unhappy with Washington because he had been hearing that they're building around Bradley Beal. Well, can you blame him, John? You haven't been healthy for God knows how long, and so it's like Bradley Beal's over here. He's healthy. He's performing. You got to give it up to the guy, and so that's what the Wizards have been doing and I guess wanted to do. And so they're thinking, okay, listen, let's get rid of John Wall. We don't want any locker room issues between who's the guy in this team, on this team. And so they traded for Russell Westbrook, who right now, to me, if you ask me at this point, who's the better player, it's Russell Westbrook, because again, we don't know the type of player John Wall is. All right. Could he be better? Sure. But we don't know at this point. So I'm going to take the known over the unknown. So Russell Westbrook is a better player. And now you got him on the Wizards. And to be honest, folks, this propels the Wizards into potential playoff contention. And again, nothing more than that, but at least it gives them something, a little bit of a pop. With Houston, this is a complete shot in the dark, let's see what happens type of thing. So overall, I don't think there's a clear winner here. I guess there's a first round pick that the Rockets are getting, but again, it's in 2023 and there's probably a lot of protections on it, so it might not mean that much. But ultimately, I don't think there's a clear winner here, folks, with this trade, because like I said, Houston's getting John Wall, but he's an unknown. The Rockets are getting rid of Russ Westbrook, and the Wizards are getting Westbrook, but we know Russell Westbrook hasn't won anything, and he's the type of guy that players really don't like playing with. And let's see if him and Bradley Beal gel. So overall, that's what I think about the trade. Just like how the contracts are a wash, I believe this trade is pretty much a wash, and that was my initial thoughts when the trade happened. If you want me to give it a little bit of an edge, maybe I'll give it to Houston because they got the first round pick and John Wall has a chance to return to be the same player he once was. So maybe I would lean slightly towards Houston. But overall, folks, this is ridiculous. It's a crazy trade, but it is negligible in terms of what these teams will be, because Houston is still, to me, not a championship contender. If this was 2012 and we had John Wall 2012 and Boogie Cousins from 2012, yeah, they'd be a contender, but it's 2020, and I don't believe that's the case. And as far as the Wizards, Russell Westbrook at this point is an upgrade over John Wall, but you're just a playoff team at that point. You're still not better than the Milwaukee's, the Miami's, Boston's of the East. So that's kind of where I'm at, folks. Let me know what you guys think about this trade. Crazy, crazy trade. It's going to be so weird seeing Russell Westbrook in a Wizards jersey and John Wall in a Rockets jersey. I wonder if they asked Harden, the Rockets did, before making this trade. They had to have, right? Like, how do you just, blindside Harden like that? So let's see. Let's see what happens, folks. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below if you agree or disagree. As always, thanks for watching.